G'day folks, welcome to another episode of Bandaged Cube Creations. Well, today's video we've got the 234 belt cube. And this one, 1, 2, there, 1, 2, 3, there, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it's called the 234 belt cube. It's a belt around the center of the puzzle. So this one and this one are freely turning. This puzzle was proposed by VTS Rubik, and it's a nice puzzle. And I must admit, I did a video where I did it sight unseen, and it went for, I don't know, half an hour, and I was really kind of very interesting, struggling with a couple of things that you'll see in this video. And I thought, nah, this is just going to go silly. So I stopped that, and I've not shown that at all. But what happened was, later I went and solved the RMQ-1 puzzle. And if you've seen that, the RMQ-1 differs from this one only that is bandaged. In other words, it has a complete big slice all the way around there. Now, what that means is that this puzzle is an unbandaged RMQ-1. Now, normally what you'd be thinking is, oh, well, if it's unbandaged, then there's more pieces freed up. But as it happens, in this case, what that means is it allows things to happen that could not happen on the RMQ. And that means corners can twist and edges can flip. And that's where I was struggling to see what to do. So it wasn't until I realized, oh, hang on a minute, if I could get this to the same state as an RMQ, then I could solve it as an RMQ. That's exactly the approach I'm taking. Then I had to think about, all right, well, how do I flip edges and twist corners? I was going to say twist corners. So let's get it scrambled first of all. And what we can do, it's different from the RMQ. With the RMQ, all I could really do was turn this face and then the up and down face in various ways like that. But this was always 2 turns. Well, it's still 2 turns, but what I can do now is also turn this face here. I can't really do anything at the back, but it does allow me a little bit more variation. And let me explain what I mean by that. If I turn, at the moment, you'll notice that I've actually got a couple of pieces here that have been flipped and twisted, but essentially what I'm doing is if I move that up and bring these up here and then put it back down, then I can do things here that mean that certain things become flipped and twisted. See, all of these used to be yellow and whites on top. Now they're not. So that is the sort of thing. That's the different move, the fact that it's unbandaged, that allows us to make things happen. So let me just keep scrambling this. I'm still going to be doing these turns, the normal turns. I'm just going to be doing these extra turns added in with it. Each time I'll probably just give that a twist. What else have we got? Let's get that one. Again, really all I'm trying to do is separate pieces. So I might do a few 180s here just to try and get that done a little bit more. That's looking better already. Good. And now we can start doing this as well. So you know how some cubes you sort of do maybe 180 twists and then you do the more involved twist. Well, that's the same sort of process here that I'm doing, just to get a lot of stuff flipped over. There is a reasonable amount flipped over now, actually. So perhaps I'll do one more of these. Okay. Right, so when we've done that, we now clearly have a puzzle that has twisted corners and flipped edges. As I said, totally impossible on the RMQ. What that means is my first thing that I want to do in solving this thing is to untwist the corners and unflip the edges. Now, what I discovered was that this very simple move can take these two and these two. So the edge in upright and the corner in upright front, and the edge in down right and the corner in down front right. Those two sets of two pieces are the only two pieces that will flip and twist. and they're going to do it in the same direction. So obviously the edges are always just going to flip. There's no sort of direction for there, but the corners, well, it could go that way or it could go that way. It happens that the ones on top here twist anti-clockwise. So the edge will just flip normally, the corner will twist anti-clockwise. So that is exactly where I want this to be. On the bottom, it'll twist clockwise. So if I think about that, that yellow is not going to land on the bottom face. So I probably wouldn't want that there. What about this one? This one, yes, I do have a clockwise twist. That will get the job done, and that edge next to it will flip. So I'm going to get those two and those two. So I'll position them there, and here's what I do. Move the right face up, move the front face up, bring the right face back, and then do a U-turn. And then undo that. It's extremely similar to sort of a corner piece series, a 3-1 commutator, but what has happened now is the two pieces that were on the bottom are over here. The two pieces that were on the top are over here, and you can see they have successfully twisted and flipped. So have these ones. So I'm just going to keep doing that. It can get interesting when you end up with, say, one corner to twist. You might think, how's that possible? Well, it is. So I'm just going to keep going and put some corners in the correct place. That's going to go clockwise, so that's good. Now that's going to go anti-clockwise. So that's not so good. Let's see if I've got another one. That looks great. Okay. All right, they're done. Again, that's not a great one. This one also not good, and the edge is in the wrong position. So let's see what we've got on the bottom here. I may even, that's not good. That's an anti-clockwise, so I'd be very happy. In fact, is that anti? That's, yeah, it does need to twist anti-clockwise, and if it does, that will solve. So that's the position I want those two. Now on the bottom, I've just got a single corner. So what I might try and do also is match up that single corner with an edge that needs to flip as well, because that single corner needs to go clockwise. So let's say that I've got this edge here, and I'd like to bring that corner up next to the edge like that. Now I've got a clockwise twisting set, except why do I want to bring it next to that edge? I have no idea. That's already flipped. That's kind of a strange thing to do. So let's just have a look. These were the ones that I already had. Where is another? Let's just do that again and find a different edge. It's probably this one that I meant, actually, now that I look at it. So I'll give that a twist like that. Let's see if that's going to work. That's going clockwise now. So that pair is good. And this is my other pair. So I want the clockwise pair on the bottom. Now the problem is I could put it on the bottom, but it may not be in these two slots. So that's the next thing to encounter. Just remember, these two are ready to go. It's just a matter now of getting the other corner next to an edge that is in the correct position. Now, in order for that to happen, I think what I've got to do is have it next to an edge here. So if I turn that around, bring it up, you can see that actually matches really nicely now. I need to separate these two and these two. Can I do it? Yes, I can. And I'll move that to there, bring those back up. Let's see, have I just destroyed something? They are now exactly where I want them to be. I may have destroyed, no, I haven't. They are also exactly where I want them to be. Okay, so that's the solving part of this, is just thinking through how do you match these pieces together. Let's go ahead and flip these. There should then only be one corner here and one corner here when we're done. Okay, one corner, one corner. All right, so what I'm going to do now is basically forget about one of the corners and flip, I'll maybe put that over there and flip this first one. Now, because that needs to go clockwise, I'm going to have it this other one up the top, I'm going to have this one on the bottom. So I'm going to put that other one out the way there. This one needs to go clockwise. So I'm going to have it here. It's going to flip this edge with it as well. Now what I'm hoping is I can then attach this other corner to the flipped edge and undo all that. You might be thinking, but if I flip these two, isn't it going to flip these two as well? Absolutely, it will flip those two. However, I'm going to flip them back in the second round. So let's see if we can follow this through. First protocol is to twist this corner, the yellow, blue, orange. So things are where I need them to be. This is out the way. Okay, yellow, blue, orange successfully flipped. I've now got that single corner, which was still there, and this edge that are sort of on their own and need to be joined. And I've got these two. Now, these two, you'll notice they have to go anti-clockwise. So the problem that I'm going to have here is I need to put them up the top, but they are in the wrong position. So that may mean I need to kind of do a few different routines here. So the first thing is let's try and join these and see if it's possible to join them, actually make a sensible pair. That's going to go anti-clockwise, but it's in the wrong position. So it's kind of like that wants to sit there. This one's got to go clockwise. Okay, that is in the correct position. This anti-clockwise one is in the wrong position. So what I would probably do in this case is say I'm going to twist these two. Now I'm just going to think through what that would leave me with. A single edge, in fact, two edges that need to be flipped, and that's it. So maybe that's not exactly what I want to do here. Let's think what else is possible. If I put them down the bottom, that's going to go and need to be twisted clockwise, which can then match up presumably with that one there. So a lot of this, and I think it's actually really cool, I like thinking this through, is I've got different scenarios. How can I do this so that I end up with the correctly twisted pieces? So at the moment on the bottom face, that is not going to twist. I'm going to end up with an untwisted corner. The edge will be flipped, so I'll have one untwisted corner. Here, I'm going to end up with a twisted corner. So I'll end up with 3 twisted corners. Now, they'll all be in the same direction. So what that tells me potentially is that I can just do them one at a time. However, I'll think, is there a better way to do this? Let's switch these around. Now, if that's in the position, those two will correctly twist. Let's have a look here. This corner will correctly twist, and I'll have the 2 edges. So again, not liking that. What if I had it here? Those 2 would twist. That would remain untwisted, and that would also be twisted. So I would end up with 2 corners that need to be twisted in the opposite direction. I think that's what I need to go for. Okay, so I'm going to carry that out. Let's review. 1 corner there, 1 corner there. This one has got to go clockwise. This one has got to go anti-clockwise. Okay. Alrighty, let's see if we can make this happen. I'm going to turn that off, and that one, yep, that one is going to now twist correctly. The edge will be wrongly flipped. So I'm going to do that and then work out how to position this one next to the wrongly flipped edge. All right. Bad corner, bad edge. These are the ones I don't want to touch, and these need to twist clockwise. So they have to end up there, which means these 2 have to end up in this position. Now, what that means for that to happen, that corner needs to be there. I also need the edge around there. So I've got to think, how do I get into that position, I need the corner here with the edge here. I need this corner to be there. So now what I'm going to do, turn these out the way. I think that'll be enough. No, I actually want to turn them just one turn so that when I turn this corner down and rotate it, which is what I want to do, they are kept together. This is then going to come up to its position there, and I can return that in exactly the right location. So what I've just done there is think through and go, okay, I need to get this corner twisting anti-clockwise, this corner twisting clockwise. I've got my final two pairs. Now I can go ahead and twist them. And all whites and yellows are on top. So as I said, I really enjoy that part of the solve. It does make it quite interesting, just thinking through how to deal with that. Now, what we have essentially is a reduced RMQ cube. And so I'm going to solve that in the same way. Essentially, what I'm doing here is just kind of pretending that that is a complete big slice. So now that's not going to be used again. I just want to start placing some edges first of all. So the yellow blue here, I might grab that, put it on the bottom there. The yellow orange goes in this position. So just using cycles to place that. What did I say? That position, it actually goes there. So I've got the yellow orange and the yellow red to swap now. Okay, blue and the orange. Now the red is going to go there. Where does that leave us? The white blue is in. I've got white, orange, and white red to swap, and yellow, green, and white green to swap. Okay, so let's firstly place, I reckon, the white orange we can do. Return that. That'll leave us a nice little 3 cycle. And as with the RMQ cube, if you did end up with, have I got a 3 cycle, or did I do exactly what I shouldn't do and have that twisted the wrong way? I did. So I've actually now got 2 swapped edges, which is kind of what I was about to explain. I wish I could say I did that deliberately, but that would be a lie. So if I do have 2 swapped edges, I just need to turn one of the faces one turn and resolve. So I'll resolve the white orange first, and then resolve the white blue, and finally cycle home these last few pieces. Okay, now I've got all the edges done, including this edge here. So you can see that's looking better. Now, because the corners have all been twisted correctly, I can now approach this in the same way that I would almost like a 3x3x2. I'm going to use the same sequence I'd use there, but I'm just going to have to do a slice move in the middle of the sequence. So the first thing, I'm looking for a corner that will roll across the bottom or the top, or one that will go from the top position here down to that position. So I don't have any that are going to roll at the moment. I've got yellow, blue, orange. That needs to go in this position, and I've got yellow, blue, red to this position. Okay, so I'm going to set it up so that the yellow, blue, red goes to here. And when I've done that, what I need is for this big clock to be on the right. So I'll just do that move there so that that is ready to go. So the pieces are running that way, just like a corner piece series for cuboids. That is on the right, which allows that to turn. And here we go, an up, a right 2, an up prime. Now normally it's a left 2. I can't. So I'm going to do the slice turn and then a left 2, and then an up. I'm going to return the slice, right 2, up prime, left 2. Now when I'm done, I had setups there, so I'll just put all these things back, and you'll notice that I've got that one solved. So I'll look for another lot. I've actually only got 3 left by the look of it. So this white, blue, red is going to go there. So that's the direction I need to set it up. So this is on the right, and that's my other piece. And it's very interesting to note what would happen if I just, instead of doing the slice, then I just did that. I actually think it might work, but we'll give it a go now. So up, right 2, up prime. And in fact, here's why it wouldn't work, because that edge is also involved. So if I did try that and continue, I'm going to put out some edges there, which is clearly not what I want to do. So let me undo that. Okay, so back to here, that's where we started. I've set it up there, and that is why I do need to move that slice in order to make this work. So up, right 2, up prime, turn the slice, left 2, return the slice, up, right 2, up prime, turn the slice, left 2, turn the slice, and undo your setup move. So that is what you want to do with this 2, 3, 4 belt cube. As I say, it's an unbandaged RMQ, but it becomes more difficult because of that. Well, here is the puzzle for the next video. This one is called the Bell Cube. This is a deceptively interesting, challenging puzzle. It only has 2 things on it. It's just got this bar over here at up left. If I'm holding it like that, there's a bar at up left, and I've got this slice from right through down. That's it. Now, I'm not entirely sure why it's so challenging. I think it's because of the bar and the fact that this kind of just knocks out that whole section, and then the bar makes many, many faces unturnable. Very interesting puzzle. Give it a twist. See you in the next video.